Let's go straight to Hyderabad now. Syed Akbaruddin, India's former permanent representative to the United Nations, someone who's also served as a spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs and India's representative at the IAEA, joining us. Mr. Akbaruddin, welcome back to Gravitas.
Thank you very much, Palki, for having me again on Gravitas. In fact, enhancing my gravitas too.
Very kind of you to say that. So we saw voting day in two places, in Bihar in India, which has often been called a state where law and order has been a problem, and in America, which is supposed to be the world's oldest, it is the world's oldest and supposed to be the most mature democracy in the world. But in America, we saw storefronts being boarded up, and there's fear of post-election violence. What explains this?
So what we witnessed in the United States is perhaps one of the most polarizing campaigns known to us. It's been a very divisive campaign, perhaps the most divisive in recent history. At times it's been surreal. A campaign amidst a pandemic which has cost lives of more than 230,000 Americans. And it's a campaign in which many of the fault lines of a democracy, which you usually associate with emerging democracies, were witnessed in the United States. It's a campaign racked by numerous anti-racism demonstrations, a campaign in which there was even an attempt to kidnap a governor of Michigan, a campaign in which the incumbent president has called into question the very process of electoral voting. Obviously, all this takes a toll, even in the most mature of democracies. So what we are seeing is an anxiety, a concern of a type not experienced before in the United States. It's manifested in various ways. It's manifested in, for example, social media platforms now providing new rules and regulations for announcing results. It's manifested in sporadic incidents of owners of stores boarding them just in case of violence. Now, that's one side of the story. On the other side, if you just look back and see, the US elections have been in a better place than what was envisaged, say, 4 to 6 months ago. At that stage, everybody was talking, would there even be adequate numbers of people coming to vote? Yet, there are more than 100 million people who have voted in advance, either through mail-in or through advance voting. And much of these votes have already been received. So there are certain mature elements that are good to see, that despite last time the mail-in vote or advance voting was just something in the vicinity of 40 million. This time it's more than 2.5 times that size, yet the system was able to adjust and adapt. Going forward, we will still have to see, because there are a plethora of issues which still remain to be addressed, given the patchwork of rules, regulations, and voting requirements that are there in different states. On the other hand, in India, in Bihar, there is a system that is in place through a centralized form of electoral organization through the Central Election Commission. That's not there in the United States. So you have each state coming up with a new set of rules, new set of regulations, new relaxations, new means of counting, etc., etc. These are two different conditions, but I take the point that what we are seeing in the world's oldest democracy is a new experience, largely because of the polarized campaign that we saw leading to this voting day today.
You know, I was only trying to drive home the contrast here. Donald Trump, 4 years back, set out to make America great again. I'm not sure how many people see it as greater than it was in 2016, and I'm not sure if Trump alone is to be blamed for the way things have ended up. do you think that this election is more than anything else a referendum on Donald Trump and what he's been able to do or not do in the past 4 years? This is more about Trump than about Biden.
That's one way of looking at it. Certainly, if you look at personalities, President Trump's outsized personality is one that has dominated his administration throughout. And surely, if there is a contrast between personalities, Donald Trump's personality is the one to make a choice. Either you support him or you don't like him. That's one way of looking at it. But a society like the United States, which is very diverse, also has a number of issues underpinning that divergence in terms of personalities, because the outcome of this election is going to decide on a host of other things, on how to handle the pandemic, how to handle the economy, how to address social inequities, how to look at foreign policy options relating to Iran, to China, to multilateralism, how to look at regulation itself, how to go about addressing issues in the US Supreme Court, whether 15 are adequate or not, etc. So there are a whole host of issues. And that choice, whether it's in terms of a personality or in terms of a platform, is a cardinal choice which will have far implications down the line, whatever the outcome.
Do you think by this time tomorrow we'll have the result?
All we have to do is to look at Florida, because that's the bellwether state which Donald Trump had won last time. And there they have a system in place where the advance voting will also be counted and declared pretty quickly, because they have a tradition of having votes which are mailed in. Florida is essential for Donald Trump to find a pathway to 270. If he loses that, then all that is required is he loses one more state, because last time he got 306 electoral votes from the Electoral College, 306. Florida is 29. I'm not a mathematician, but that would mean 277. And one other state in the Midwest, if he loses, it's over. So watch out for Florida. That will give an indication. If Donald Trump wins Florida, then you are in for a longer count, because many of the Midwestern states will take a longer time to address the issues of these mail-in votes or advance voting, because they have only started counting today. It may take them time to get to the end of it. And one never knows what's going to happen in between that. So when we watch out for the election results, Florida will be key, followed by Georgia, or maybe North Carolina. These 3-4 Sun Belt states, if Donald Trump does well, it doesn't mean he's out of difficult straits, but it means that the election will take a longer time to decide. If he doesn't do well in one of these, certainly in Florida, then it's much more difficult for him to get back get to the pathway of 270. So Florida is going to be announcing its results starting at, I understand, 8:30 their local time. We don't have very long to go in that. And that will give a key pointer of whether this election results will come in quickly or it will take a longer drawn process.
Well, we'll be reporting it here on WION, because we're live non-stop on this broadcast for about 42 hours. But Florida is a state to watch. Florida, I believe, is also the state that took 2 presidential hopefuls to court back in the year 2000. I hope that story is not repeated. Thanks very much for the moment, Syed Akbaruddin, for joining us here on Gravitas.
Thank you very much, Palki.
Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.